What's up YouTube and comic book enthusiasts out there, this is your boy RBG hitting you guys up with another analysis regarding the newly released Marvel vs. Capcom trailer. So it's been officially confirmed that Marvel was in fact allowing Capcom to develop the fourth installment in the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise. So this is big news for the fighting game community as well as the Marvel fanbase that have been enjoying the successful slew of the MCU films that have been coming out. I think we can all agree that Capcom's track record hasn't really been that good with recent releases of fighting games such as the Street X Tekken and somewhat poorly received Street Fighter V game that just came out. Both of those games' hype quickly fizzled out due to the certain nerfs and DLC characters that didn't meet fans' expectations, so that probably put a damper on Capcom's grossing sales. But this new installment to Marvel vs. Capcom ultimately raises their stock up plenty, and that's simply because Marvel is such a big property in itself, especially with the films and shows nowadays. And it seems like Marvel Studios has pulled more characters into the mainstream stardom such as Starlord, Rocket Raccoon, and Ant-Man, just to name a few. Now Rocket Raccoon is by no means a newcomer when it comes to being in a Capcom game, as we've already seen him in the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 game, but this time around, since he's become more widely known from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and sells a lot of merchandise, this could mean more casual eyes could be looking at this game from Capcom compared to the core fighting game fanbase. And I'm just talking about if Capcom and Marvel decide to include Rocket in. You know, if he's generated a big fan base by himself, just imagine the other characters that have grown a bigger fan base within the MCU. We're talking about big dollar signs from Capcom and Marvel. Now in the previous installment, Capcom decided to go with the look and overall aesthetic of the Ultimate Marvel comic books, which is the newest version of the superheroes in the Marvel comics right now. We saw Iron Man's appearance, which was based off of Orson Card's Ultimate Iron Man comic series that was released in 2005, and we even had other characters from the series like Ultimate Spider-Man show up, who was rewritten by Brian Michael Bendis, who pretty much reinvented others such as the Ultimate Fantastic Four and New Avengers. So that somewhat explains why they slapped the Ultimate name on the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 game. It's also good to mention that Marvel Studios decided to utilize certain elements from the Ultimate Marvel comic book line and combine some of the newer elements with the already older and pre-existing elements that were already established for each Marvel character. Kinda like how MCU's Iron Man strongly resembles his Ultimate counterpart, but he still maintains some of his older traits we've known him for, as opposed to Spider-Man, who sports his classic Steve Ditko costume but utilizes a lot of the story elements Brian Michael Bendis wrote from the Ultimate storyline, with him and Aunt May being more young. Since Marvel Studios has taken those qualities from the comics and cross-pollinated them into their own, it only makes sense that this time around Capcom will be borrowing heavily from the MCU. So we may see Captain America mirroring more of the MCU incarnation and combine some of the newer elements, and I'm even willing to bet that you'll be hearing some of those iconic sound effects from the MCU films, like the humming sounds from Iron Man's blasters. Hell, I'm willing to bet that Tony Stark will be acting Robert Downey Jr.-ish, if you know what I mean. But anyways, there seems to be a big movement going on within Marvel Entertainment regarding video games. It started off when Sony unveiled the new Spider-Man game at 2016's E3 that's simply entitled Spider-Man 4. It was originally rumored that the game was under development under Sucker Punch, which seemed legit given that games like Infamous and the Slide series were heavily based off of parkour and platforming. Fans as well as myself thought that was a match made in heaven for a Spidey game, but it turned out that Insomniac formed a partnership with Marvel and Sony instead. And man, does that game look beautiful. Just from the setting of New York, Spider-Man's design that borrows from all the Spider-Man films such as the Raimi Spider-Man and Mark Webb Spider-Man. They even took some influences from the newest version of Spider-Man, which was the Civil War / Homecoming version, by adding the expressive mechanical eyes. As I mentioned earlier, Marvel Entertainment is probably going to be leaning heavy on the MCU character likenesses, and it looks like it's going to be that way for future games that they allow other prominent developers to make for them. We even got a teaser trailer for a Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game a couple of days ago, which couldn't have come at a better time since we just got another trailer for the Volume 2 movie that's set to be released next year. So I think we're all noticing a pattern here. Marvel Entertainment definitely has a structure laid out for future games. After we got the announcement trailer for Spider-Man PS4, Bill Roseman, who's the creative director of Marvel Games, did an interview afterwards giving fans an idea with where they're going with their video games. He mentioned that Spider-Man 4 will be kicking off the lineup and that game would represent a new era for Marvel games to come. All their games will be ambitious, and to do so, they're only going to be working with ambitious developers, so to speak. He went on to say that one of the things they're focusing on in terms of their new strategy is that they believe that great games drive the brand, and great games are what their fans really deserve. The thing they landed on is to be very selective with who they partner with, extremely selective. That's what pretty much sealed the deal with them and Insomniac Games. They're probably looking for the most prestige developers to work on these titles, and since Marvel vs. Capcom has sold millions of copies, it was a no-brainer to give Capcom that go-ahead on this game. Now, as we saw in the trailer, we got a close glimpse at one of Capcom's most flagship players, Ryu from the Street Fighter series. He's pretty much been the standard guy for any Capcom crossover project. We pretty much expected that. What we really didn't expect to see was Capcom's iconic blue bomber, Mega Man, and holy shit were we surprised. Because as many consumers know of Capcom, they haven't really been nice with that particular character. They pretty much mocked the fan base by giving us the fat box cover art Mega Man from the NES game, and they didn't even bother to feature him in either the original Marvel 3 or the Ultimate Marvel 3 games. Talk about a kick in the scrotum, right? But this time around they needed something to add a layer of hype to this recent trailer, and it looks like we're getting the Maverick Hunter Mega Man X version, which is a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. Of course, it wouldn't be right if we didn't see one of the original Avengers, so we saw Iron Man throw down in sort of a struggle beam standoff between Mega Man. He seemed to be outnumbered until we saw a fresh face appear, which turned out to be none other than Captain Marvel. Pretty cool CG teaser trailer to get the blood boiling. But for this to be a teaser trailer, they showed off some key elements that lets me know that they're borrowing heavily from the MCU films. And this particular element is probably alluding to the new gameplay scheme. If you look very closely, you'll notice Ryu snagged what looked to be a magical purple crystal or gem. If I didn't know any better, I'd bet my money that just so happens to be none other than the Infinity Gem. You can argue me down that it's not and that it's just a random MacGuffin Capcom will use to coincide with the story, but my guess still stands, and here's why. Almost all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's films have revolved around the Infinity Gems, or as they call them, the Infinity Stones, and they all tie into their ultimate wielder, Thanos, who's been popping in and out of different films to solidify his place in the future Infinity Wars films. So far, we've gotten a taste of what 5 of the gems can do in the films, and they look extremely effective. It's looking like we might see what those powers will be like in the hands of Capcom characters. That purple stone Ryu was wielding looks to be the Power Stone that was shown off in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. And that particular stone is no easy element to master. You'd have to be a superhuman or of godly stature to wield such a stone. But since Ryu is no stranger to fighting such, he'd be the perfect candidate. It's also important to mention that Ryu has some deep dark powers of his own, that being the Setsui no Hado or the Dark Hado, which gives him tremendous boost in power. Now you may think that was the only Infinity Stone that they showed off in this trailer, but you're incorrect. From taking a closer look, I noticed that Captain Marvel seemed to be favoring her left fist and sort of clenching it as if she were activating some kind of hidden power. She was most likely activating the Time Stone that was saw in Doctor Strange, which doubled as his Eye of Agamotto amulet. Now, I know some of the Marvel hardcore fans are gonna blast me and say I'm wrong. They're probably gonna say something along the lines of, "See, you're already wrong. If you were a true Marvel fan, you would know that the Power Gem is red and the Time Gem is orange." Yes, I'm aware of that, but please hear me out before you castrate me. If you guys have been living under a rock for the past couple of years, you probably didn't notice that Marvel Studios for some reason decided to change the color schemes of all the Infinity Stones. The Space Gem, which was originally the Tesseract, has been changed from purple to blue. And the Mind Gem, which is now the power source for Vision, has been changed from blue to being yellow. The Reality Stone from Thor the Dark World has been changed to red, and as mentioned, the Power Stone and the Time Stone are purple and green now. And that leaves us with the most powerful gem, that being the Soul Stone, which has been changed to orange. Another moment from this trailer that alludes to Captain Marvel possessing the Time Stone is her sharp movements. It's as if she saw Ryu's fireballs coming at her in slow motion. She was even moving like she was leaping through time or some shit. We pretty much know how critical that stone can be just from watching the Doctor Strange movie. So yeah, these Infinity Stones are most likely going to be the gimmick for this particular title. How it will work in actual gameplay is anyone's guess. I'm thinking something similar to Street Fighter X Tekken's gem system, which was mainly focused towards casual gamers who wanted to get into Street Fighter X Tekken. Unfortunately, that particular gimmick led to the game's ultimate demise, and some fans don't even like to mention it. I hope Capcom isn't treading similar waters with this Infinity Stone gimmick. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention that the game is titled Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So that name alone should be a dead ringer that they're going to be using the Infinity Stones as a gameplay mechanic. But what do you guys think? I think I've went on long enough. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to thumbs up or thumbs down the video. It doesn't have to be a like, it can be a dislike, as any feedback is good feedback to improve future quality content. Also subscribe and follow me on Twitter to stay updated on any further analogy videos. But as always, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. Peace out. Hey you beautiful sexy muffin you. You like anime? You want to support your anime the right way? Then I got a deal you don't want to miss out on. Your boy has joined forces with Crunchyroll to bring you the latest and greatest animes for your viewing pleasure. Because I know you get tired of watching animes in poor quality on those illegal streaming sites, and I know deep inside that you want to help make a difference by supporting your anime the legit way. Anime has played a significant role in my life along with Crunchyroll over the past few years. I could be wasting time lurking in the nearest big booty models DMs and milli rocking until my shoulder pops, but your boy has better things to do with his life, like watching all the newest anime on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is the best spots to watch all your favorite animes, and it's dedicated to offering you, as well as me, the best experience you can find. Not only that, but they offer simulcasted episodes that are professionally subtitled on the same day it's aired in Japan. And don't worry, the subtitle font is pleasing to the eyes and you can watch this in glorious 1080p HD. Want to watch something with swag as well as superpowered fisticuffs? Then check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Disappointed in the announcement that the hottest new JRPG, Persona 5, has been delayed again? Then slide on over to Crunchyroll and check out the anime spin-off, Persona 5 The Animation, The Daybreakers, to satiate your appetite. They even got our favorite intergalactic slugfest, Dragon Ball Super, so you don't have to worry about going over to those illegal sites to get a poorly rendered and poorly translated episode a day after it's been aired. Don't play yourself, keep up with the times. But I know you're probably yelling at the screen, but I don't have the paper to afford Crunchyroll. Don't worry about all that because your boy has you covered. You should see a link that reads crunchyroll.com/randomblackgamer in the description box below. By raping this special URL link long click style, you get the exclusive offer of trying out Crunchyroll Premium for 30 days free. It's available on all your favorite gaming systems, handhelds, and any device you prefer, so you got no excuse. Like a bruised up hand sausage, you can't beat that deal. But anyways, let's get on with the video.